Welcome to this episode of Vibe Gardening Inform Edition. We're going to update you on what's happening here with this cucumber experiment I have here. It's been about a month. It's time for our first checking update video. Let's go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about this brown patch here. As you can see, it's doing quite well here, positioned a little closer to the edge of the corner here. And the reason why I did this is that this patch right here is a little further off from this side. And I discovered that the sun is hitting this area with a much more daylight, approximately about 2 to 3 more hours of sun starting in the morning. This is why I deliberately moved it from here to here. And that itself, at least to give this guy right here, which as you can see is a little bit less withered. This one is getting quite a bit more sun by that nature. So that's why I moved it to here. And of course, we got dead grass, which we'll deal with it next year. This was extremely important as the temperature dropped last week, significantly low. So at night temperature dropping into the mid to upper 30s Fahrenheit at night, which is getting pretty down there, which is approximately about 3 degrees or so Celsius. And the mulch really give it a little helping hand in getting itself a little bit more heat to preserve it from getting cold. Of course, the cold temperature also gives it a bit more struggle to continue growing. It's not as quickly as I would like to in the warmer weathers, but this also is simulating the beginning of the season when I was generally germinating it. So I guess it's not too bad of a deal, but it did slow it down a little bit. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, one of the problems is that there is definitely a bit of a cold spell. So as you can see, we get closer on this leaf here. You see the brown spots? That is from cold. But this is also the coatless, which is the baby leaves. So having a little bit of damage on it is not the biggest deal on earth. As you can see with the true leaves here, these true leaves are truly healthy. And that is what actually matters, is those are the adult leaves that it will be carrying with it through the rest of its life. But the interesting thing is that you get closer to this side, which as you can see is closer to the edge there. This one only had a little bit of burn, the cold burn, which really is interesting because it's not actually that shielded from the wind when it goes into the corner. But I guess the morning heat actually helped it from having basically much of that cold stress here. As you can see, the minimum effect on it. So one of the other issues that I'm going to run into as the season gets colder is that I'm noticing that the pollinators are decreasing their activities. I'm seeing, of course, bumblebees getting fatter, bigger, but at the same time, I do see when the temperature drops below 60 or so, their activity also declines. As you saw from my short from before with the peekaboo one, they like to go and snuggle up inside the marigold to basically take a nap. They don't really want to move around and do things. So that's going to become a real struggle later in the season when I expect that it's not even going to start flowering until well into October. And when that happens, I might have to come out here and do hand pollination, which I've never done before. And frankly, I'm a little bit intimidated by it. But overall, I think this is progressing quite fine. But the real test will become the next update within a month from now. And we'll see how in October it's doing. And that is going to be the real story. So with that said, I hope you enjoyed this quick little update on my cucumber moonshot experiment. So until next time, keep gardening and keep vibing. Let's go.